Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good day so far. It's supposed to warm up some more today, so I'm glad because our backyard is still like an ice skating rink. There is a big patch where there isn't snow or ice, and that's great, but it takes a while to get to that patch. And you thank God there's things to hold on to along the way, because otherwise for sure I'd fall down. So, but everything here is good. We had a nice dinner last night, Monday, meatballs and spaghetti, because we pretty much have a schedule of what we eat during the week. Everyone teases us about that, but that's Mondays. Tuesday is either fish or shrimp. Last week was fish, so tonight is shrimp. And then Wednesday is, for the time being, ravioli. When the other chickens were still here, we would have eggs for dinner most of the time on Wednesdays. And Thursday is hamburgers. And then Friday and Saturday, we pick up something at the supermarket for Rick to make. If it's spring or summertime, he barbecues. Otherwise, it could be steak, it could be pork chops, could be baked ziti, different things. So, but that's what's going on. So, it is time for story time with Miss Paula. So let's say hi to all our friends out there. Hi Camilla, hi Parker, hi Sodi, hi Vicente, hi Trey, hi Brian, hi Carl, hi Callum, hi Alexandra, hi John, hi Jackson, hi Evan, hi Eric, hi Christopher, hi Anthony, hi Vincent, hi Kaylee, hi James, hi MJ, hi Leo, hi Eason, hi Woody, hi Jack, hi Nora, hi Meadow, hi Milan, hi Rory, hi Jake, hi Emmy, hi Evelyn, hi Joe in Arizona, and hi to everyone else who is watching. If you'd like me to mention you by name, ask me in the comments and I will. Today's book is Sam's Super Seats by Keene Brown, illustrated by Shari Miller. Keene Brown is the author. That means that Keene wrote the story. And Shari Miller drew the pictures. She's the illustrator. I see nice purple pages with couches and hearts and chairs. So let's see. And benches. Sam's Super Seats. And this is dedicated to the author's niece, Avea. May your love for reading last a lifetime. And to the illustrator's son, Gray, who reminds her how important rest is. Sam's Super Seats by Keene Brown, illustrated by Shari Miller. Hi, my name is Sam, and I love to make people laugh. I love myself, and I love to learn. Today I'm going to my favorite place for back-to-school shopping with my best friends, Sydney and Sarah.